to talk about the band?
Yeah. And then we get into Innistrad.
Okay.
Sorry.
We're gonna get copyright strike.
I know. I really want to play that Spider-Man Miles Morales. Keep seeing some fucking awesome videos where he's like falling off the. Well, this is the first one I've seen, I think, where he's on his phone, his iPhone, and he turns it, goes to the apps, and then turns on Spotify and plays was it Skies by Kanye West?
Oh,
Limited Skies. It's got that big trumpet. I guess.
I thought you were gonna say like the old Spider-Man song.
No, it's really cool, and he's just. I think Miles Morales is kind of. I think they did that justice in that video game where he's not like web slinging like normal. He's just kind of doing it crazy, really frantic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His legs are kicking everywhere. He's uncoordinated. I think that's really cool. Okay. You've already started, didn't you?
It's where we had a minute and 28 seconds.
All right. Hey, how? Welcome to the show. So we got some important things to talk about, and well, let's start off. It's pre-release weekend, so Innistrad Midnight Hunt is gonna be pretty bananas. But breaking news, we're gonna talk about
Rule 10 has been removed.
Okay. No, these nerds, older nerds, like super old nerds, they probably still live in their mom's basement. They all gathered together maybe a week or two, and they've been thinking about this. They're just like, hey, what should we do with the community of Commander? We should fuck with them, right? Everybody's like, yeah, let's fuck with them.
This is like fuck with their mom, fuck with them. Like like it's your bully from high school, and you're like, Mom, can you go over there and tell him what for? You find out she's like now pregnant with his kid.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what you said, but exactly.
That's how much of a fuck up it is.
Yeah. So we got these jackasses. I'm still dumbfounded by some of this shit. So over the weekend, not over the weekend, it was this week.
Yeah,
Monday?
Early this week. Yeah,
it was Monday. Monday this week, these group of nerds decided to ban Golos. And the excuse they gave it was pretty fucking lame.
They're few excuses, mind you.
They were pretty bad. And I'm like, what? Well,
hold on. Before we go forward, how long have you been playing EDH or Commander? Whatever you want to call it.
Quite a bit.
I'd say a good 20
when it was
years.
called EDH.
Yeah. And you got me into it, and I remember the year I started playing, so I've been playing for 15 years, so I feel like we have some merit.
Yeah.
To professionally.
Yeah, I mean, we played this. I mean, it's for one, it's not an official format.
Yeah.
One fucking bit.
Yep.
There's nothing. There's no tournaments. Wizards of the Coast have nothing on this. They only kind of dipped into it because they saw how popular it is, and it just made everybody. So here's the big thing. EDH was always a thing for the longest time since I've been playing fucking Magic. And it was a really cool idea. Back then, you didn't have that many legendary creatures to fuck around with. So you kind of had to almost make up a couple of your dudes because the list was just really fucking small.
Yeah.
But so in your group or circle of friends, it was okay if the guy's like, hey, can I play this as my commander? I know he's not legendary, but I like his ability and his colors. And then most of the people in the group would be like, okay, that's fine. So we have these group of nerds that are dumb and old. I don't know. They have to be old. They're older than me. So guarantee you. But either way. So what I'm trying to say is that they got together and decided that Golos, the tireless pilgrim.
Yep, that's the full name.
Tireless pilgrim, which is, if anybody doesn't know what Golos is, I mean, I guess I'll explain it. So Golos is an artifact creature. He's a 3/5. So he has a good, decent power level and a big butt. So it's really kind of hard to kill him. But he's an artifact creature for 5 mana, 5 colorless mana. When he enters the battlefield, you can search your library for any card, put it in the play tab. But he has a secondary ability. You pay all 5 colors and 2, and you basically can exile the top 3 cards of your library and cast or play any of those spells without paying its mana's cost. So for most people that played Golos, they liked it because he was 5 colors. So people that like playing 5 color decks made it easier for them to play 5 color decks. So it was. I understand that when he hits the battlefield, he mana fixes you. But most of the time, people that play Golos already had the mana fix. They have the fetches, the shocks, the duels, the tri-lands, and any of the filter lands to make that deck run.
Which, real quick, I just want to note that real quick for what I'll say later is that what you just said, the shocks, the fetches, even duels and stuff like that, that those are expensive cards. So let's note that for now, and we'll come back to it later. Continue.
So what I'm trying to say is that most of the time it's a 5 color deck. If anybody that runs a 5 color deck, it always seems like, oh, I have to get the mana fix, right? And their excuse is the banning of him he was a very popular commander to play with, and a very popular commander to not like to play against.
There's one strike.
That's the one strike. So going on to this, Magic the Gathering in general, not this, because the committee for Commander and Magic the Gatherings are 2 different people, 2 different groups. So, but Magic's been on such a big trend for the last, and you guys play Standard, the last 2 to 3 years since we've had the store open, they've been on a super trend. Well, since Spence, like Arena, actually.
That's actually, I'd probably say since Arena.
Yeah. So since Arena, they get the gathering of all this database from all these Arena decks, and if they notice one card that's being played in multiple decks, they typically do a fucking ban.
Yeah. And even then, at the time, because Paper was still going.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've seen the first occurrence back in the day when you played Callblade. Yep. They came out an article why they were basically like 2 to 3 weeks before the rotation and Jace was out, Mind Sculptor. They gave the reason why they banned Mind Sculptor, and the reason why was because they said he was in the top 8 decks at GPs.
Well, they also said too they fucked up on his design.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that's kind of been an ongoing trend. You know, the idea that for one, hey, it's just because the card's getting paid so much shouldn't deserve a ban. Yeah,
and that's where I agree with you with that. I agree with the part where they're like, we fucked up on this. This is a fucking overpowered card, and the community agrees on it. Yeah. But just because it's being played, it shouldn't be banned.
Yeah, but they've been doing that. Yeah, they did that like
Smuggler's Copter.
Yeah, Smuggler's Copters. But just think of all the stuff from the Throne of Eldraine. You know, the wit, the cat. They did ban that just because they should have just got rid of the oven. Yep. Because the oven was still being played after the cat was gone.
Care.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay. It's the enabler, not so much that one card. Yeah. Because the cat was because what was it, Mayhem Devil? Yeah. Was still out and they was still doing his thing. Yeah. It didn't give a shit.
You take the oven away, it's just the cat. That's really it.
Because I've seen plenty of decks where they would get They would sack a 4 power and get 2 tokens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fucking stupid. Okay.
Yep.
And then 2 ovens out, you're like, okay, I'm fucking done. It's like, but it's just the situation I hate about that. I hope they're not catching the same trend and trying to do the same thing. Is one of the things is they said is because of the most popular commander to play with and the most hated commander to play against. See, I played against Golos. I've never fucking felt like I hated him.
I've
never. Like I've seen some really good Golos decks, like Josh and them, Dan. Yeah. They play good Golos. I mean, they run all the fucking Eldrazi's in it. So you're like, oh, okay. But again, we have this situation where they're like, oh man, he's just too powerful. He's just doing all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but they try to compare it with Kindrift. Kindrift seems to be the better fit because he's not so overpowered. So then the second reason, one of they said, is when he comes in the battlefield, he makes it cheaper.
Yeah, he's definitely 1 cost less instead of 2.
But there's so many other commanders that do that.
Yeah, there are.
There are a ton.
It can't be as good as that scope, but yes, there's still that thing.
I mean Urza by the far is the cheapest.
Oh, that's a whole nother.
What I'm just saying is Golos. They say, oh, he's cheaper every time he comes in. He lowers the count. If you get rid of Urza and not his artifacts with him, they're just gonna recast it. Way cheaper. They're like, okay, I ramped, bam, I play him again. All these artifacts that are still untapped that he comes into the battlefield basically become free mana again.
Yeah.
There's just like, yeah.
He's got a little less evasion with that, but the fact is I've seen people where like they're trying to do something with their Urza and combo, and then they go to kill Urza, but they're like in response float all this fucking mana from all my artifacts. I'm just gonna play him again. Yeah. So
and it's so, and that's the thing is too, it's like he always is 1 cheaper because he comes in with that dude that taps for a mana.
Yeah.
All the time. You can't get rid of that.
The only negative I see with him is that when he leaves, they lose that ability to do that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, everyone is pretty smart enough that I've seen that plays Urza's. They leave rocks open to tap. And it's the fact that all these things are able to tap before I go for it, does he give him gain tap for islands, or does he have the ability that says tap an artifact?
He has the ability.
That's the busted part.
Yeah. That's why we talk about him and then that red blue dragon.
Yeah.
I was like, there's such a night and day with those two. Yeah, he has the ability. It says tap an artifact, produce a mana. He's the one that producing the mana.
Yeah, so his golem can immediately tap.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying he's really insane. And here's also, you're running blue. I get that you're not running all 5 colors, but who gives a fuck? Urza's locked down plenty of fucking casual games.
Yeah.
I never look. I can sit down in a casual game and see Golos and not be afraid.
Yeah,
because it's an artifact that you can get rid of. They got Nature's Claim. You got fucking the Castic Caterpillar pillar. K grip, whatever. You got a bunch of shit that can get rid of it. It's just Vandal Blast. Gets rid of his artifacts and everything. But the problem is with Urza, if you want to talk about unfair fun, you can seriously run Urza in a low tier to mid tier, because that was their excuse that he'd be thrown in. Like if you throw in, they were saying with Golos, it's like you can throw Golos into a low to mid tier and still get your mana fix to play cool stuff. But Urza can be thrown into a fucking low to mid tier and still be fucking doing awesome. Yeah. The problem is like there's an infinite combo with him.
Yeah.
Golos, I've never seen an infinite combo.
Oh yeah, because it's just the top 3 with Urza shuffling it in the top, and it's the access to that is so much easier. Because everyone's excuse is like, oh, you just play Golos and you get the world tree, and then now you have all the who the fuck cares? But what you said with that low to mid tier, someone made a really cool comment that I didn't think about till now. He goes, remember, they said their ban was based off of the low to mid tier play group. So what that's pretty much telling you is that anyone who wants to shell out money for this is fucked and can't play this deck.
Yeah.
So what you said with all the fetches and everything like that is like for an optimal Golos deck and stuff like that, people are putting fucking money into it and actually trying to build it up. So there's two things with that. When they ban that, they ban all this investment they put in, and that's what Dan said pisses him off, is all these people who put money into this deck to try to even make it decent. Yeah. And then you're pretty much making a statement that for the low to mid tier, for you to have a budget Golos deck, nah, fuck you, because that's where we see the problem, and that's fucked up when you really get down to brass tacks and think about that. That's stupid. So if you have an expensive Golos deck that you're probably taking to a more of expensive playgroup table, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean that's a weird thing. Like I just don't. So that leads into the other thing. What I'm trying to say is that why are we listening to these people, and why is everyone just okay with it, like acceptable? Like these people are genuinely nothing. This isn't a tournament. That no one's going to like, hey man, let's just go to this tournament that's held in Detroit, and they're doing Commander.
Who said that? Who said that on Facebook? It was Jason.
What?
This is why we listen. Isn't it just a casual format?
It is.
Yeah.
It's such a casual thing. No one should listen. Like this is why we care. Whoop-de-doo. That's the thing is, so like some of the stuff on the ban list do make sense.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that should be a thing. And I think I don't know who brought it up. Some customer brought it in here and says, it's crazy how we're now paying attention because they just banned Hall Breacher and they banned Hall Breacher and Golos. So the ability to, no one cared before on what was getting banned, but now people are caring because the things are getting banned. But here's also the thing. As long as we've been open we're basically going on 3 years, there's been 3 announcements for a Commander since I've remembered. The first one was Iona got banned, Unpainter 7 got unbanned.
Oh, you're missing one, the Paradox Engine or whatever, the one that untaps.
That was in the same one.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, Paradox Engine.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because I remember distinctly, a guy came in, and it was during the summer. Guy came in and bought Corey bought the Iona.
Yeah.
And it got banned the next day.
Oh, that
and then
feels bad.
Painter Servant got unbanned.
Yeah.
So, and then that's the whole crazy thing about that. It's just like, oh, okay. And then that Paradox Engine got banned. That's what it was. The guy bought the Paradox Engine, and then Corey bought the Iona. Yeah, it was so sad.
Wow.
I was like, it was literally next day. That guy, Corey, I got to talk to. That guy, I don't know who he was. He was a tourist that came through this town. So, yeah, it was nuts. And I was like, damn, that's fucking crazy. So, but here's the thing is, like, Iona, okay, again, I don't think she's ban worthy. No, I don't think she is.
I mean, with the Painter Servant, sure, I get it, but
yeah,
you're gonna have one or the other in the format.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you can see that combo coming.
Oh, absolutely.
You just like, because he has to play the Painter Servant. He has to play that first.
Like, if anything, I would get in the 99 because if it was played in any other deck that could ramp, sure. But as a mono white commander, you can't get. There's no ramp besides like land hacks and shit that even then gets it to your hand. Mm-hmm. So, like what you said, you can see that fucker coming.
Yeah.
And it shuts off one player, even if they're at the time playing a monocolor commander deck. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was fine, but of course, some bitch ass boy or girl, whoever, is going to complain that the one time it happened to him.
So, going back to this thing, like I just didn't like that they worded it was like the most popular deck, the most popular commander.
Yep.
Cool. I like he's fun. I like that he's fun. He shouldn't be banned because he's most popular.
Yep.
But I don't understand that whole thing is like the most like hated to play against. Like something in my head just doesn't click right with it. Just because I'm just like thinking, it's like, How are people not dealing with this?
Well, how are they getting that information anyway? It's not like the rules committee.
No, it's in their play group. It's like Timmy and fucking Billy could not fucking have a reaction to Joseph's fucking Golos deck.
Well,
so they just run no interaction, and then Timmy and Billy are just like, we're gonna put a ban on that.
Did you show me that Twitter post that it has the SpongeBob episode where Sandy's chasing SpongeBob and Patrick because they're making fun of Texas?
No.
It was okay. Then it was Max, I think. Then it's if you remember, she's chasing them because they keep fucking shitting on Texas, and so it has them running, and it says Patrick, who's Sheldon, when he loses to Golos, and she takes him and yanks him back, and then SpongeBob is the next commander that Sheldon loses to.
Yeah,
and he's just gonna yank that.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's insane. Like they're not. If these people were traveling around the world and just playing in different game stores and just, hanging out, playing, and then they're like, yeah, that's kind of fucking annoying. Yeah. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, okay, they're doing somewhat of a research. They're just doing this shit with whoever the fuck they're playing with.
Yeah, that's why.
Guarantee you, they're not doing any of that.
That's why, like with Smash Bros, like I mean, if they ever ban a character, which they have or nerfed and stuff, it's because they have data from tournaments to show that. There's no commander tournaments to show this because there really isn't anything for that.
Yeah, so I have a Golos deck, but I only used it for my zombie deck because I wanted some like I want to run Kamal to turn on my zombies, get +3/+3 and trample. Yeah. And then like Beastmaster, Sinchin, and Avison, just random shit like that, like the red and the green and white had to provide, instead of just a typical like blue black deck.
Yeah.
And I also wanted it because I wanted some Path of Exiles. I wanted to be able to kill artifacts with the green and enchantments. Because blue black doesn't have that ability. I just don't want to run like zombies and counter spells. That's just fucking mean stupid.
Yeah.
And spot removal. I want to be able to have a board wipe like a Wrath of God and shit like that.
Yeah, because yours sounds like it's more of like 5-colored zombie good stuff, kind of like toolbox.
Yeah,
rather these other people
just more assistance.
Yeah, these other people
different colors.
We're talking about how like anytime I've played Golos, they don't run any interaction. They just try to put the best shit in there, omniscience.
Exactly.
And shit.
I just wanted the colors, so I wanted some help with my zombie decks.
Yeah.
So Golos was never really like when I first started the deck, I didn't make it into a landfall, and I was like, this is kind of stupid.
Didn't you do the mazes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was landfall, like mazes, and I was like, this is dumb. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then I changed it. And then I just like made it zombies. I just like, okay, just make it Golos zombies. Put Field of the Dead and took out the maze, and that's it. And it just like, it's not really that great of a deck. Never really wins a lot. But I don't care. I just want to play zombies. Put a bunch of zombies out. But here we go again. It's just like I think I'm the only one that runs a Golos deck.
I think Justin did. I thought he mentioned something about it yesterday. But you were the only one that was like known to play it quite often. Yeah.
So I didn't really care. And I've faced Golos decks. It's just not really that important.
Because even though we say you're the only one, it's like there's been other people who come here every other week or every 3 weeks, and we face stranger, as in we don't know them that well, Golos decks, and I've never felt that way.
Yeah, it's just fucking insane.
What I hate and like I said in the Facebook post, I was like, I know we're a small group. We don't make up anything, right? But when you have 15, 20 regulars that come in, and then you have people cycling in, and you see how people play these decks, and you see how many of these decks you see, even though it's a low amount of Goloses, and then you play against those Goloses, and then it gets banned, you're like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. It really makes you scratch your head, even in a small community, because of course that was one of their kind of takeaways with that, is the small to medium power level of those. And I feel like small to medium power level things, you're going to see at more tables spread out. If you were like take a survey, that is, which of course they didn't. So I just think there are other reasons, and Josh Lee Quide even said it, and he's on the Commander Advisory Panel to advise what needs to be banned and what doesn't because of what they're seeing and how many games they play. He even says it makes zero fucking sense. He says it's his most disagreed banning in a while, or ever since they've done any bannings.
That's so stupid. It's just dumb.
Yep.
It's like the dumbest thing they ever fucking did.
Yep.
Like out of all the commanders, I would not think that one was going to be the one.
There was another dude on Reddit who he even compared it to all the cards you were saying that got banned recently.
Yeah.
And what it does compared to them. He's like, Paradox Engine puts you in a loop to where you win. Golos doesn't do it.
All the fucking time.
And Golos doesn't do it.
That's why I said it makes sense. I was like, that's annoying.
And then Hold
they just play
Breacher.
Paradox Engine and just fucking untap all their shit.
Yep.
And
then
play a spell.
Hold Breacher stops you from drawing, locks you out of the games when you do combos.
I mean,
Golos doesn't do that.
No.
Even then, we disagree with the whole Breacher ban, but he's just comparing them to all the bans. He goes, Iona locked players out, especially with Painter Servant, when it was legal, but even not, he says it would lock one person out. And he even said he didn't even agree with that ban, but he's like, Golos doesn't do that. So he's like, the fact is that they're truthful in what they're saying. They're banning it simply because it's the most popular, and that's pretty much it. He thinks that the low to mid thing is bullshit, because why would you ban all these other 4 cards that are completely popular, completely powerful, and you're comparing it to Golos, which it does none of those things. And then you were also talking about, we have our eye on Corvo, we have our eye on Chulane. Fucking, you wanted to ban this before Chulane?
Yeah, Chulane's pretty stupid.
Chulane,
I retired that deck.
There's
a reason why.
There was 4 or 5 people in here playing, including you, and you would pop off turn 3.
Yeah, there's a reason, because it was just too easy.
Yeah.
And it was just like, because I'm sitting there playing Magic by myself.
Pretty much. Yeah, you're playing solitaire, yeah.
Play, dude, get the card. Play, dude, get the card.
Yep.
Untap my shit. Get the card.
Peregrine Drake. Oh, let's go.
Infinite, yes. But see, Golos never did an infinite thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
He never did. I've never did anything with him, and I've never seen anybody go infinite. But I did see people pop off like Eldrazi's.
Yeah.
But that can be in any of the fucking cheap ways to get Eldrazi's out.
You want to get people pissed, ban an Eldrazi. I guarantee you that's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, because people put those. Justin made a good point about it. He says he about puts one of the old Eldrazi in any of his commander decks simply for the fact that if he gets milled out, it just cycles his whole graveyard.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a good thought. Not even if you want to cast it, just do it for that. That ability is powerful enough on its own.
Yeah, and it's a good card in general.
But
yeah.
What's funny that I saw though too is that, and I very much agree with this. It was a post I'm following on Reddit that 2 hours ago. He said
the dark web.
The dark web. He thinks that if anything, this is a huge slap to the face to Wizards, saying to stop printing cards that are going to be super popular. And then that got like a whole chain of people being like, "Holy fuck, yeah, I think you're right." He thinks it's just a huge like, "Hey, this is a statement to you."
They started that trend though.
But they
don't give a fuck.
I know, I get that. But Mark Rosewater says that when they print cards, they don't have any other format in mind. He confirmed that.
That's true. But here's the thing: is they like to make very like powerful, fun cards. And it's own in a little environment, and then they're just like, okay, we get whatever. So I think Cameron said it right. They don't give a fuck because they're getting box sales, and then they'll just like, okay, you get banned in 3 months. But they've spiked so much out of that card. They just sold so much because of that one card is in a box.
Yeah,
and then they're just trying to make sales. And that makes sense. What Cameron said. He was just like, they're just trying to sell boxes. They're literally just like, they'll put very powerful cards, and it doesn't give a shit to them because they'll just ban it.
And that makes sense too, because they're a business. I get that, and I really have no. That's
a shitty business. That's really shitty.
I don't know.
You start to piss off.
I mean, you start putting
customers.
You start putting Coke Crack Cane on a hot dog, and you sell more hot dogs because I'm going to start putting Coke Crack Cane on it. You know.
That's different though.
I don't know.
Then you say you take away the fucking crack cocaine. And then you think you're going to sell a hot dog with no cocaine in it?
That's exactly the same what I'm saying. Is like, if you keep putting those powerful cards in the commander set, then you're going to keep selling it. But if you take it out and they start seeing, oh, these are getting shittier and shittier.
But I'm just saying, you just got people hooked on crack cocaine hot dogs. Now you're taking it away from them. Do you think those people are going to be happy?
No.
Okay. So yes, I'm saying it right. But you're still not getting what I'm saying.
Wizards is doing the exact same thing. If they took that cocaine from their commander pack or whatever it is, they're going to be upset and be like, well, this sucks. They already did it. It's already showing with how they didn't make a werewolf commander deck.
But I get that, man. I understand that. We're both saying the same thing. But I'm trying to say is that with the way Wizards is making cards and then banning them, and then basically just selling the product. People are eventually going to lose their shit. They're not going to buy. Well, I don't know. I think people are still going to buy Magic. It doesn't really matter. But I think people will get to a point where just like, man, I'm really fucking frustrated with this company. I'm going to stop giving them my business. Some people might do that.
Well, that's
just the whole thing is like, because they keep giving you good cards that you want to play with. Standard, prime example.
Oh, yeah.
Standard, a lot of our customers say they don't want to play a fucking format anymore, that they are banning popular cards. And it's not just here. It's everywhere.
Absolutely. It's because they're taking the crack cocaine from the product.
Yeah, they're taking it out. So people are not investing in a format anymore.
Yep.
They'll do it online. They'll like, oh yeah, I'll play online. Yes, just because it's cheap. I don't have nothing to pay anything, and I'll just play.
Technically, you don't have to pay anything.
You don't. But if you're listen
you
here,
gotta
folks.
get lucky with your pools.
Listen here, folks. If you're playing for a free any game that's free, you're a sucker. All due respect, you should not be paying for a free game.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah.
So,
before I forget though, why? Because I liked your point about them keeping putting this stuff in. It's like with the commander decks. I think what they're doing now, the $25 decks or the $40 decks, you see these hot reprints of cards. You're not seeing as much of hot broken shit. You know, look at the commanders that are in this 2 commanders for Innistrad. They're, in my opinion, not good. They are not good. You could do better stuff in those colors with any other thing. But the reprints, fucking the green white one has that Benelish commander that's only been printed in another commander deck, and it was a $25 card. It gives your commanders indestructible and like +2/+2, something like that. She's still $18. Like, that's what I think they should do with their commander product, is put solid to okay commanders. That way players can be like, okay, this is an introductory commander. You know, this I can see what I can do with it. But I also get these cool cards that were reprinted that are powerful but not broken. And I think that's the route they need to keep going.
yeah, give us food chain.
Give us food chain. Wow. Okay.
But yeah, so man, I don't know, man.
I don't know if you guys could tell from that. We disagree with the Golos ban.
Yeah, the Golos ban was stupid. That was dumb. Like, Yuriko, that's one we should ban. Any fucking commander you don't have to pay a tax on should be banned.
Now you're just getting salty because of that.
No, because, I mean, that's kind of cheating.
You gotta remember, she doesn't do anything on her own when that happens. She's the gun, the ninjas are the ammo. And I'm not saying it's not broken or anything, but you gotta remember, if she did something like where it's like ninjutsu for 2 all the time, when she comes into play, everyone looks at the top card, mills it. If it's a creature, they lose 2 life. Like that shit, that's where there's a problem.
No, you're dumb. You don't know anything. No.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about the Golos ban before we move on to the last 20 minutes for Innistrad?
Fuck, man. No, man. I don't think we should listen to them. I think we should do our own thing.
Yeah, I think play groups should do what they want.
Yeah. I think so too. That seems ridiculous. I just don't like that people are just gonna follow suit. That just doesn't make me feel good.
Well, there's some people who are like, I feel like Dan's kind of that way. That's where it's like, some people are just like, I follow that to the T, just because if I'm gonna follow it for everything else, then boom. And there's some other people like, I'm gonna follow it, but you can play Golos if you want. I don't care. And then there's some people who are like, I'm gonna keep doing the fuck what I want with this Golos thing. As long as my table doesn't care, then cool.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I just don't like that because it's just a group of nerds hanging out in their basement, getting their sweats on, and just, fucking bitches. Either way. All right, moving on to Innistrad.
It's great.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
My favorite thing about it is the lands.
Yeah. I wish we had some for the store.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know where they all went.
You literally handed me and be like, here you go.
No, I did not say that. I just thought you were just sorting them out, dude.
Well, there's a whole pile in my thing. I'll give them back.
I'm just saying.
You know,
normal people would like to help their business out and, be productive with business stuff. Nope, sucking at the tit and just milking it for everything. Oh, deflect.
Shit. Do we want to forget the Urza and the Tiny Bones I donated to the store?
Okay.
All these. If you say I don't want to help my store, I'm helping my store.
I don't think so.
Bunch of rares in there I donated.
Okay.
$1 to $5 rares.
Ooh. Big man.
I haven't left a shit in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Whatever, man. Tell yourself that. Either way. So, Innistrad. Couple mechanics. They got Coven. What's it called? Coven.
Shit
Yep.
ability.
So they got Coven the ability. They brought back Flashback.
I like this
They
Under Armour
brought back
commercial.
Investigate. And then they brought back...
You should watch this.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
It's showing how this bra holds in boobies for athletic women.
So I'll do this podcast by myself. So Innistrad is really, really cool. I like the werewolves.
Save the
and
boobies.
it's gonna be interesting. If this theme seems more werewolf, it's like I would say it's like 40% werewolves, 30% fucking zombies, and then you got like
some vampires.
Yeah,
and
it's.
some humans.
I think it's like a.
Well, that was the focus.
I would say like 10%'s like 10% of it is like I would say like so 40% werewolves, 30% zombies,
I'd say 50%
maybe
werewolves.
10% vampires, 5% humans, and I'd say
there's more humans than vampires in the set.
no, you can't count the zombies because
Oh,
they're humans.
I'm just saying
because they're humans werewolves.
There's more human cards than
but they're werewolves.
No, I'm
They're
just
not
saying
humans.
pure humans. There's more humans than vampires. They did that intentionally because Crimson Vow is the vampire set.
I don't know about that. I think you're counting the flip side, but whatever.
What?
Because those are werewolves.
I'm not counting the werewolves.
I think you are.
No, I'm not. There was a real quick. There was a real cool artist dude. You know how Moon Mist flips werewolf? It says transfer all humans, right?
Yep.
And now there's these new humans that have the front and flip side. So someone drew that blue-white farmer. He's like farming, and he's got his disturbed side where he comes back as a spirit. So there's the moon in the air, and it's just like shining on him, and he's like, "Am I going to turn into a werewolf?" And then it's nothing happens. The next one now, because of this set, it's Moon Mist, transfer all humans. He fucking dies, and it's got the moon erasing him from existence.
What the fuck?
I wish I saved it. It was pretty cool.
Oh. Okay. So, what's your most excited card for this new set? We already know you put a shitload in your commander set and all your commander decks.
I took all the werewolves.
Okay.
But common and commons.
Okay. Continue with your luxury digging into the new set.
Luxury. I said, "What do you want?" You're like, "I don't want nothing." You know what? Maybe I'll send you a list. I never got that list.
Because I looked at the list. And
Did you even look at the set?
Yeah, I did, man.
Okay, whatever. Well, there's a whole box there.
No, I'm not looking to do that. I'm looking to sell some shit.
Oh my god! Don't be this righteous
bills.
motherfucker. This is
Get bills paid. Get on the right foot.
I'd probably just have to say the Tovalar dude, just because the werewolves and werewolf deck needed the biggest upgrade, and that was him. He's a draw for whenever you hit for werewolves. But I really want to see the mystery that's going on this plane. So
That's right.
The card I want to see the most about that is the Celestis and Silver Key thing. So it's kind of cool to see that, like I said, Soren's granddad is missing or something like that.
Yeah, you know what's gonna be? I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Not cool. My bad. I don't mean to say cool, but goddamn, I think that day bond and night bond is gonna be really bad. I've talked about it with you guys about a lot. But I haven't talked about it in the podcast. But I think that mechanic is going to be really rough. I think it's going to be super hard for players to interact with that.
Especially limited.
Yeah, well, you have to have a werewolf. You have to have werewolf in your deck, which is not that hard in limited because you can run like one of them or two or three of them.
What do you mean have to?
Well, like I was explaining yesterday, it's like if you get stuck in day or you stuck at night, everything is safe. Say somehow, luckily, okay, like a two-headed giant, prime example. Those two-headed giant decks are always never typically like actual fucking limited decks. They seem more constructed because the 12 packs you have to play with.
Oh yeah, yep.
So say if someone goes really werewolf heavy, you're like, fuck, man. Say you get it gets your opponent, you keep your opponent off from turning it back into the day, and one player's keeping it say removal and counter and shit like that, and then your opponents are not running so much, they're just doing a blend of both. Say if your partner's the one that's running all the werewolves, now if you keep it at night, everything has maximum potential of what the card value does. I explained like that uncommon 2/2 for 2 mana. When it comes, you can sack him. You can sack him and then destroy target enchantment or artifact, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But on his flip side, he's a 3/3, still with that ability, you pay 1, sack him, destroy artifact or enchantment, but he has a bonus. The bonus is if he attacks, you can destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. So for 2 mana, that guy comes in. If you're nighttime, that guy comes in as 3/3 with that ability. You don't have to do anything else special. So all your werewolves are coming on at the best possible action of that card for cheaper cost at the best value.
Yeah. Now I get
that's the only thing I'm having my little like caution about this whole stay in night and stay in day.
Yeah, because
I think that might be very troublesome.
Yeah, because now you get the best part of it immediately, rather than the old time you had to wait.
You had to wait. Yeah. So in the old one, you just had to. You as an opponent still had to keep. You could keep him off from turning into a big dude. Just think about that. Think about Huntmaster. If you got to play him downward, he comes into play 4/4 trample. And he does 2 damage to target creature and the player.
Face, yeah.
So that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and of course they made, which I love, being I play the werewolf deck. They made it harder to do it now. So it used to be, in case no one knows, to make your werewolves flip at any time, whether the day or night or whatever you want to call it. Back in the old Innistrad, someone had to not cast a spell. Anyone
this turn,
and then if they wanted to flip back, if anyone casted 2 spells on any turn, then boom. Now it's if a player casts 2 spells on their own turn. Yeah. So in a commander group, let's just say, for example, in a 4-player game, you have 3 turns to where, like, the 3 safety pieces. I sorry, I don't want to say this right. If it's your turn, for example, and we have 2 other people at the table, and I'm playing the werewolf deck, I don't have to worry about myself or 2 other people playing spells. Only you for that. And I think that's a good upgrade to make werewolves stronger.
Yeah. I mean, it lets them stay out longer.
Yeah.
But again, that's very dangerous.
Yep, it is.
Especially if you played in Commander and then you do make a werewolf Commander deck, no one will be able to touch you for a while. Yeah, I mean, it's troublesome for them.
Yeah.
Most of the time, because it's just their day bond, so they come in as that, night bond. So I think it might have. So this funny thing is about this whole situation. Now in Standard, we have 2 different outside the game elements. You know what I mean?
What's the other one?
Or inside? Oh, dungeon.
Oh, gotcha.
They can't really control. I mean, you can't really respond for the night stuff. If it flips. It's gonna stay in the night. Yeah. You can't counter it. Unless there is a counter.
Well, the day and night you're talking. Well, you can counter triggered abilities, but the day and night thing doesn't even use the stack. It can't.
Oof!
It just happens. It doesn't even use the stack.
Wow.
And it's also not a state-based action.
Wow.
That's how because I read the things for the pre-release. That's how on top of it is. There's 2 interesting rules with it too. When you cast a werewolf or any type of, because humans have front sides too, with the disturb thing. If you cast something at night, it casts as its front side for all intents and purposes. So if it's like,
so it just comes in and play that way.
Always its front side on cast, but then it enters. Yes.
Yep.
And then the other thing is if
Makes
somehow something happens at the same time to make day and night happen at the same time, where it becomes day or becomes night, since it's not a state-based action, no triggers happen. And there's no triggers. It always becomes day. So I think they did that to kind of balance out in case there's ways to make day and night happen at the same time. Which, for example, if you cast a werewolf at night, boom, and then someone did the Celestis thing to make it day, it's going to become day. So, yeah.
Interesting. Yep. So that's the only thing that's going to be interesting this weekend. Those 2 mechanics are the day bond and night bond thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, the set's really solid. Really good on commons. Really good commons. Artwork's awesome. Themes always. This feels a lot better than
the middle one.
Innistrad.
Shadows over Innistrad.
Yeah, Shadows of Innistrad feels a little bit better.
I will say that I love the story of it. I did love not the Emrakul and shit, but I loved how Avacyn was going fucking nuts and Soren had to kill her. I thought that was awesome. But like other than that, that's all I liked about the set.
Yeah, I liked it. It was okay. But this one's pretty cool. It's very themed.
It's more spot on with how it felt in the first time.
Yeah. It makes it feel good. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. I was really hoping they were gonna bring back Morbid, but they didn't.
Oh, the die is something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of.
Let's think, fucking God, they didn't bring Undying back.
Yeah.
Because that's where it premiered.
Oh, Decay. Decay's a new ability.
I think it's
a new mechanic.
I specifically think they made that mechanic just to balance out what they wanted to do with the Dead Rising.
Yeah. I think that's a cool ability. There's a lot of neat stuff with that guy. Yeah. Really cool.
And then I like Disturb because some of those a lot of the Disturb cards are solid, like the one that counters.
Pretty much flashback. I forgot about that ability. God damn it. Disturb is pretty cool. It's pretty much flashback for creatures.
And then of course in Commander, people are just gonna blink the shit and abuse the shit and get it back as a normal thing.
Yeah, it's because it says if it goes into the graveyard.
Yeah,
exile it instead. So basically, kind of like flashback. If it hits the graveyard again, it's gone. So I like it. I think Disturb is pretty good. Too bad I don't think we get a lot of it, did we?
There's a decent amount. I'd probably say 10 to 15 cards of Disturb. It's mainly, of course, humans. Yeah. That's the last I knew. That's all it is. But the flavor on all of them is really cool. It's like there's a dude on one of them. There's a dude at the beach. And he's like, he has like something in his hand. And then on his flip side, of course, he's dead. His body's in the background, but now he's this cool geist that haunts the beach. And I think most of the flavor for all those is really cool.
Okay. That's kind of cool. Yeah, man. They seem to all be all interesting. But we didn't really get to talk too much about Innistrad. We got to get the store. What the fuck? Oh.
We'll talk more about it next week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about how it worked out.
Yep, because pre-release is this weekend in case you hear this in the next hour. Pre-release is today at 6:30 for Two-Headed Giant. And then we have another one tomorrow at 6:30 on Saturday, and then before that is a sealed event at 12:30 on Saturday. All right, I accidentally pushed the stop button. We weren't ready to stop just yet.
Oh dang!
But yeah, everyone have an enjoyable weekend.
Yep.
Be safe. Bitch to the RC, the rules committee, about the Golos ban.
Y'all's a bunch of bitches.
And then do your part, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, later.
Okay, Dr.
Bye.
Disrespect.